You know what I really think bothers me the most? It's just how you can't just really be honest with people. Like when you first meet them, or in general. Like for example, we're like, "Oh hey, how are you?" Or the weather's really nice, but in reality, we just don't really care what's going on.
Yeah, I hate small talk. Like, even at church or when you're with family and you should just be your normal self, but you feel like you have to pretend like everything's going fine and whatever.
And then when people ask you, like, what's new, you really only have like two options. You either say, nothing much, or you just basically tell them the positives, which is basically what small talk is. So you'd be telling them, yeah, I'm doing good in school, or, I'm doing good in my job, but, in reality, you never really tell them what's really going on in your mind at that moment.
I mean, sometimes I'm sitting there with somebody I just met, or even like my grandparents, and I'm just going through this almost scripted dialogue, and I'm going crazy. And I tell myself, I'm fed up with it. I'm just gonna say what's really going on in my life and blow their minds right then and there. But I don't.
And then there's those responses, like from the people that just pass by, and your only response to like the typical, hey, how's it going, or what's up, is like either, nothing much, or yeah, I'm doing good. I mean, what are you gonna do? Tell them your life's problems right in front of them? Like, yeah, hey, I'm doing good. Besides the fact I just got fired from my job and my girlfriend just broke up with me. Other than that, I'm good. I mean, no, you're not gonna tell everyone every bad thing about you. Especially since these moments, they're just so quick. Man, if you just think about it, think about all the times that people lie. They just give the fake, I'm doing great response. It's basically become, the American small talk habit. People just talking for talking's sake.
What's up, guys?
Ayo.
What's up?
Hey, man, what's up?
So, are we gonna get something to eat? Or am I interrupting something?
Yeah, we were just talking about small talk.
Oh, small talk? I hate small talk. Just the other day I was in the airport with my guitar, and this old man comes up to me and he's like, so, you got your guitar? And I was like, yep, I've got my guitar. And like, I just felt this horrible pressure to like come up with some kind of interesting conversation starter, and I hate that pressure, but there are some times when you're in one of those situations and you can actually come up with something that you're actually thinking or feeling at the moment, and it seems so real and sacred when it happens with one of your family members or just like some random person, but you actually manage to just get something out, and then it's like, wow. But it almost never happens.
Yeah, I mean, good for all those kids, where their parents were basically their best friends. I can just tell them everything, but, for me, that was never the case. And quite frankly, I never really got close with my parents. Now that I think about it, the very few, like, genuine conversations, like, they're so real where you can just tell them whatever you want. There are so few that, me and my dad, we wouldn't talk about the news or the sports or anything. We'd actually talk about things. Those moments are so few that I could remember them vividly in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, and there are those conversations that you play back in your head of just things that have happened, and I actually find myself doing that a lot. Like, some conversations actually happened, and some of them never happened. I think the sad part, like, for me, is that I find myself remembering more the ones that never happened.
Yeah, and I hate in movies when the main character is given the chance to say what's on his mind, and he's able to take that chance. Like, it's actually a cliche in movies for the main character to say what's on his mind. But, I mean, that's not realistic. Like, in reality, there are no cliches. In reality, everything that should be said isn't.
This sounds bad and sort of messed up, but ever since I was a little kid, I've actually enjoyed seeing my family fight. Not because I like seeing my family becoming broken or angry at each other. It's just that was the only time they actually said what was truly on their minds. Sometimes they even fueled the fights. Again, that sounds bad. I don't know, it was actually that much of a rarity for me that I actually enjoyed seeing them fight.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, every time my family gets together, it drives me crazy. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love them, but I don't know, it's just so artificial. Like, we just sit around the table and say, like, how wonderful life is, and when in reality, like, it couldn't be farther from the truth.
I don't know. I think people need that, though. Like, they need to pretend and delude themselves into thinking everything's awesome. I mean, that's why we go to movies, or why we buy expensive clothing, or whatever. Like, we need to make ourselves feel better about our lives, and we need other people to think that we're awesome, too.
Imagine if, like, everyone in the world was just genuine with each other. I mean, like, they just told everyone what was on their mind. I don't think there'd be any fighting at all, just because everyone knew, what was going on.
No way, man. That wouldn't work, because no one wants to hear what people actually think, because people would just be offending each other all the time, and people would get angry, and no one would be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we lie and small talk and pretend, it's just easier than telling the truth. Like, we probably need small talk for society to function. I mean, even us, right now, like, trying to be honest with each other, we're hiding things from each other, like, that we wouldn't normally talk about. Like, John Daniel, I can honestly say the first time I heard you laugh, it totally annoyed the crap out of me. Like, I don't think I've ever told you that before. But that's me being honest. So, what do you think about that?
Okay.
Are you honestly alright with that? Or are you just saying that to prove me wrong?
Dude, John, you're so mad right now.
Yeah. No, but now you're thinking about it. And, like, probably the next time you laugh, you'll be self-conscious about it. Or the next time, like, anytime you laugh for the rest of your life. And I could very easily have just not said that and prevented you years of insecurity. But I did. Like, but we don't have to say stuff like that. Like, I could very easily just think, oh, John Daniel's laugh annoys me, and not tell you, and go on my way, and everything would be fine.
No, I see what you mean. Actually, it reminds me of a story that happened to me one time. My uncle is a really great guy. Like, I mean, every time my family gets together, he's very encouraging and always tells positive stories about his life, and I mean, he's just awesome. And anyway, I think I was about 13, and I was at his house, and I was in his living room, and I walked up to the fireplace, and on the fireplace I saw a picture of a half-naked woman swimming. And at the time, it really messed me up, because I thought my uncle was such a saint, and then here was this picture, and I didn't understand why he would have this picture. But, in retrospect, the picture didn't make him like a bad person. It was just another side of him that I didn't need to know. I mean, I didn't need to know it, and that's probably why he didn't disclose that part of himself to the family, because, I mean, rightfully so. Like, who needs to know that part of you? And it's a good example of when someone keeps something of themselves from other people, So, want to get some food now?
Yes.
Whoa. Never happened to you?
What, zoning out?
That's my whole day.
Yeah, you'd be like just staring off at something, nothing really has to be there, but you just be like staring at them. Then there's those awkward moments when you're staring at something, and then all of a sudden someone walks into your line of sight. I mean, it's a little bit awkward because you know that they're wondering, why are you staring at them?
I get what you're saying. Although I tend to stare at people much more purposely. I'm not trying to be weird or anything. I don't know. I guess it's just one of those chances you get to study someone.
Yeah.
You've never done that? Like, you're stopped at a red light and you look over to the car right next to you and you just look at them, no matter what they're doing. Like, talking on the phone or jamming out or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those. You don't get many chance to look at people like that, you know?
Yeah, until the person you're staring at turns around and sees that you're creeping at them.
I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those rare chances to study someone. Like, only then you can see those subtle expressions on somebody's face.
Well, for me, more often than not, I find myself looking at myself.
Here we go.
That's not what I mean.
So that means you're one of those people who hasn't quite figured yourself out yet, right?
That was deep.
Well, it's like this. The other day, I was looking into the mirror, and it was so weird. Like I saw my dad's face. I mean, it was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. Like, it was like his face on my face.
That was beautiful.
No, I'm serious. Like, I couldn't look away. I mean, how could I? It was one of the most frightening things I'd ever been through.
So why did it freak you out so much?
I don't know. I guess it's just like another reminder of who you're becoming, you know? I mean, every once in a while, I'll catch myself, like, doing things that he does. And, like, I hate that. Like, I hate it. And when I was looking in the mirror, like, I can't even look in the mirror without seeing his face. And, like, it sounds, I mean, it definitely sounds stupid, but it's like he was staring into my soul. And I couldn't do anything about it.
Maybe it was a sign.
A sign?
I don't know, like maybe you subconsciously need to face him. Like maybe you want to.
Whatever. It doesn't bother me too much.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Well, what I like to do when I have a problem that seems overwhelming, much like your trippy dad experience, I try to, like, step outside of myself and look at the problem and think about other problems I've had and see if it's really as big as it seems like it is. So I'm like, I'm still myself, but I'm looking at myself. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
Yeah. And what I said was trippy.
I mean, we can talk about this stuff all night, but sometimes you just have to face what your problem is, you know? Like having to face your dad in a mirror.
I mean, sometimes.
So, what we figured out here is that there's two types of people in the world. Those that stare blankly at a mirror because they haven't figured themselves out yet. And then those who stare at other people because they haven't figured them out yet. Am I right? But we forgot about the third type of person. That person that thinks it'd be a great idea if we go to the beach right now. Anyone?
Oh, I hate the beach.
Gosh, the sun is so beautiful. You know? Like now, or even in the evenings when it's like 6 or 7 and it hasn't set quite yet. It's just there for us to marvel at. Like, no matter how much stress I'm under to please my parents or anybody else, the sun is just there. It gives me so much and it expects nothing in return. It's crazy how much it affects us emotionally, you know?
least your parents like you. I mean, I saw a picture of my dad in high school the other day, and even then, he'd probably beat me up.
Trying to focus on the sun here. Okay? Not on the past or the present.
What do you have to worry about?
I mean, where do I start? How about how messed up life is in general? Or like, how it's very neatly divided into 3 sections. Part 1, you have from middle school to high school. And you've got to think about what you want to be when you grow up and make decisions that you're not old enough to make. And then when you go to part 2, it's like college to your career. And you have to make decisions based off of those decisions you made when you were way too young to make them. And like, the rest of your life will be affected by those decisions you made.
You know, you're just worried because you buy into what the world says you should be worried about. You know, like, you got to be that important person that makes his mark on the world, or, you know, you got to have your name on a plaque somewhere. You know, I mean, that's all fine and dandy for some people, but, you know, call me crazy. I just want a simple life. You know, I just want to find someone special and find a good, nice house and just chill. You know, and like, to me, that sounds perfect.
I mean, how do you go through your whole life, like, dealing with what your peers are trying to pressure you into being? Like, being something that you're not, or being somebody that you're not. Like, even me, I've known my whole life what I want to be. And I still wake up some mornings panic-stricken that it's not gonna happen. And sometimes I worry that I'm wrong. And like, everyone else around me is getting wasted. And I wonder, am I wasting my time trying to be something that society's telling me to be that may never actually happen?
I mean, like, sure, I have simple dreams, but, you know, the reason people, you know, do stupid things and like make stupid decisions is just because, like, they don't have anything to live for. You know, like, they would kill to be able to be passionate about something, you know, like you are. You know, like, you say you wake up mornings with inspiration and you worry about that. You know, like, imagine not having anything to live for. You know, imagine waking up and not being passionate about anything. You know, like, that feeling is a lot worse to wake up to. You know, so, like, you say it sucks to be you, but you don't realize the indispensable gift that you have. And Jeff, dude, man, you gotta stop worrying about your parents. You know, like, I've basically concluded that parents are just here so that we can learn from their mistakes and not make them when we're older.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Honestly, I think the reason people chase or worry about that their whole lives is they want what you have. I mean, you've got it and you don't even know it. But yeah, I'm definitely one of those people who has no idea what they're gonna do or who they're gonna be.
You don't have to worry, man. You're in the majority. You're one of the normal people. I guess I'm just weird for actually knowing what I want.
Well, don't start crying quite yet.
So, guys, like, with all this so-called honesty and trying to be real with each other, when does the small talk stop and, like, what we actually think come out? You know, like, I mean, we care about it and it bothers us so much, but apparently it's something that can never change. So, like, what's the point?
We talk about it because people need to talk about it. Or they'll just go crazy, I think. And I mean, I guess, I don't know, things will never change because it's an imperfect world.
You know, we talk about how it bothers us, but, you know, in reality, we're no better than anyone else. Like, we preach and whine about it, but we do nothing. You know, so what's the point of believing in something and sticking up, or in trying to stick up for it if we don't do anything about it?
I mean, what does that make us?
Failed human beings.
My grandma used to say that when it was sunny outside, that meant people were mostly good that day. Like, the amount of good in the world was overshadowing the amount of bad. Maybe like God is smiling down on everybody. It's a nice thought. What?
What's part 3? You said there was 3 parts to life. You know, middle school to high school, college to career. What's part 3?
That's so funny!